Okay, so let's take a look at preparing a production budget. Now that we've prepared our sales forecast, we can go ahead and fill in our production budget. This would be the second budget that we actually prepare. So we start with the units needed for sales, which comes from our sales forecast. Add to it any desired ending inventory. Sometimes we want to have a little extra cushion just in case sales go up. That will tell us the total sales needed. Subtract our units in beginning inventory, so any units that were left over from the previous period, and that will tell us how many units that we need to produce. Okay, so here's an example. And the management of Royal wants ending inventory to be equal to 20% of the following month's budgeted sales. The reason they want to do this is to minimize the probability of stock out of inventory items. So there's been a policy implemented that requires the company to maintain ending inventory of 20% of the following month's budgeted sales. Also, at the beginning of the quarter, Royal had 4,000 units in inventory. Let's get started on the production budget. So we fill in first the information from the sales forecast, which you can see here, 20,000, 50,000, and 30,000. Then you can see we've started to complete our production budget. We have it completed for April, and let's see how we put that together. We start with the monthly budget with the projected sales in units, 20,000, and again, that comes from our sales budget. The desired ending inventory is a recognition of management's policy against stock out, and we determine those by taking May's projected unit sales times the 20% as established by management. That gives us 10,000 units, and we add that to the projected sales to get our total unit needs for the month. Then we're going to subtract the current period's inventory. In our case, Royal had 4,000 units of inventory on hand at the end of the month. So we've now prepared our production for April. We can also go in and anticipate what do you think that May's required production is. You can pause the video and fill that in if you'd like. And the way we come up with May's is we take, again, the sales forecast of 50,000. We're going to add desired ending inventory, which is 20% of June's number, which comes out to 6,000. That means we have 56,000 units needed. We left in ending inventory in April 10,000 units. That will transfer over now into our beginning inventory, which means that we only need 46,000 units required into production. And then on June 30th, we will assume that we have 5,000 units in ending inventory. That isn't given to us, so we're just going to make that assumption. If you refer back to the sales data, July sales units are estimated to be 25,000, and 20% of 25,000 equals 5,000 units. So that's where that number comes from. The ending inventory at June 30th becomes the beginning inventory for the quarter, which you can see here. And then the beginning inventory from March 31st becomes 4,000 becomes the beginning inventory. For the quarter, we need to produce 101,000 units, as you can see here, to meet our sales and inventory goals. Now that we know our required production, let's look at the direct materials budget.